Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's a privilege to welcome our 2024 Masters champion, Scottie Scheffler. Scottie, congratulations on your great victory. 2 years after your breakthrough here at Augusta National, here you are again in a green jacket as a two-time Masters champion. Can you describe your emotions as you hit your final putt today?
Yeah, I'm glad I brought my stroke average, my putting average down on 18. That was nice. Down to 5 strokes. 2.5 is my average, so that's not bad. No, it's hard to put into words how special this is. It's been a long week, a grind of a week. The golf course was so challenging, and to be sitting here wearing this jacket again and getting to take it home is extremely special.
Great. Let's open up to questions. John.
Scottie, two-part question. One, I see you've got some kinesiology tape on. I assume that's from your neck. And two, how was this Sunday morning different than the Sunday morning 2 years ago?
Yeah, the Sunday morning was definitely different. Yeah, instead of just me and Mary at the house, I had a couple of my buddies with me, and we sat and relaxed. Tried not to think about golf, but it was increasingly difficult. But they were great support for me this morning, yeah, it was a long morning, but it was well worth it. I'm glad to be sitting here now.
Don.
Scottie, many congratulations. Your rivals will be hoping that at some point you're going to take your eye off the ball. By the time of the next major in a month's time, you'll have a baby in your arms. What are the chances that you think you will take your eye off the ball?
Well, I'm definitely not going to intentionally take my eye off the ball. I will go home, soak in this victory tonight. We'll definitely enjoy the birth of my first child. But with that being said, I still love competing. My priorities will change here very soon. My either son or daughter will now be the main priority, along with my wife. So golf will now be, probably fourth in line. But I still love competing. I don't plan on taking my eye off the ball anytime soon. That's for sure.
Doug.
Scottie, what do you consider the most important shot you hit today?
The most important shot? I would say the best momentum turner that I had today was the birdie putt on 8. I hit 2 really good shots in there along the green. I had an extremely difficult pitch that I hit up there about 10, 12 feet from the cup, and it was a challenging read because it turned early and it was really straight at the end. So it was a putt that you really had to start on line and hope it held its line. And I poured that one in, and then it kind of gave me some good momentum, and I used that to birdie 9 and 10, and keep pushing because I knew there was birdies out there on the back 9. I had a lot of really talented players trying to chase me down, and I knew pars weren't going to get it done.
Can you explain the difference of how it feels emotionally between 4 putting the last green and 1 putting?
1 putting is significantly easier. Yeah, I tried not to let my emotions get the best of me this time. I kept my head down. I don't even think I took my hat off and waved to the crowd when I was walking up 18. I did my best to stay in the moment. I wanted to finish off the tournament the right way, and I got to soak it in there after 1 putting instead of 4 putting, which was a little bit better.
Chris.
Scottie, Colin was talking about how much farther that you were than him on a couple of holes, and how much of an advantage that is. Do you see it as just a massive mental advantage when you're, a couple 100 yards or 50, 100 yards ahead of Colin?
I mean, I don't know if I was that far ahead.
50 yards, 30 yards.
Colin may have exaggerated a little bit, but yeah, I drove the ball really well this week. I was hitting it hard. Today was a day where I was able to swing freely, and around this place, I mean, distance is very important around this golf course. The fairways are fairly wide, and when the greens are this firm, you have to have short clubs going into these greens, especially with the little areas there are to where they put the pins. And so I would say I was swinging a bit harder this week than I would at a normal PGA Tour event, just because there's a bit more room off the tee. At a regular tour stop or U.S. Open or something like that, my tee height may be a little bit lower, and I might be hitting more different types of shots. But a lot of the drives I hit this week, I was just teeing it high and hitting it hard. That's pretty much it.
Ann.
Congratulations, Scottie. I know you said you kept your head down all day, basically, but at any point did you allow yourself to enjoy the lead you had?
Enjoy the lead? No. I think just like any human would, your mind starts to wander a little bit out there on the golf course. I mean, we're out there for 4 or 5 hours at a time. You got to let your mind wander. I tried to soak in stuff around me today. I looked up at the trees at times. I looked up at the fans occasionally and tried to soak in, some of their energy, but did not ever let myself get attached to the lead. I just tried to keep pushing. I mean, I think if I would have played a little bit defensively, it would have been a significantly different finish. I went for the green and 2 on 13, was able to make birdie. I attacked the pin on 14, was able to make birdie. Went for it again on 15, was able to make a nice par, and I hit a really good shot there into 16 to make birdie. And so, if I was just trying to play for pars the whole back 9, I would have been standing there on 18, having to make par, and hoping Ludwig would only make a par. And so around this golf course, you have to stay aggressive. You have to hit the right shots. There's no way around it out here. You can't play too defensive and you can't play too aggressive. You just got to hit the right shots. And fortunately, today I was able to do that.
Sean Martin.
You say constantly that your identity's not in your golf scores. What is it about winning and competing then that you find satisfying?
That's a really good question. I was sitting around with my buddies this morning. I was a bit overwhelmed because I told them, I was like, I wish that I didn't want to win as badly as I did, or as badly as I do. I think it would make the mornings easier. But I love winning. I hate losing. I really do. And when you're here in the biggest moments, when I'm sitting there with the lead on Sunday, I really, really want to win badly. And my buddies told me this morning, my victory was secure on the cross. And that's a pretty special feeling, to know that I'm secure for forever. And it doesn't matter, whether or not I win this tournament or if I lose this tournament. My identity is secure for forever.
James.
Scottie, I'm wondering, what did you learn about leading at this golf course from your previous major Masters win to this one?
I think it's a difficult golf course to close out a win on. I mean, like I said, you can't play overly defensive. Like 12 is a good example of a hole where if you play overly defensive, like where the pin is today, you're trying to hit it right over that bunker. Right there in the middle of the green. And if you pull it for a righty, it goes further. Like you can see Max Home in the group in front of us maybe pulled his a touch and it flies into the bushes long. I mean, I've hit in the bushes long there multiple times. So you can't just sit up there and play overly defensive. You have to play to the correct spot and hit really good golf shots. And I did that to the best of my abilities today and was fortunately able to hit some really key shots and make some nice birdies there on the back 9. Really, from hole 8 on, I played really, really nice golf.
Andy.
You're speaking about your faith there, Scottie. Could you just tell us a bit about how much it features in your head when you're actually out there on the course? Does it help you cope with the sort of vicissitudes of the wind and things like that, or bad breaks? Yeah, I mean, I believe that today's plans were already laid out, many years ago, and I could do nothing to mess up those plans. I've been given a gift of this talent, and I use it for God's glory. That's pretty much it. So when I'm out there, I try to compete to the best of my abilities. Like I said, I really want to win. I feel like that's how I was designed. I've been that way since I was a young kid. That's always been a part of me, and I don't think that should be going away anytime soon. And I don't believe there's anything wrong with that either. But at the end of the day, like I said, my identity's secure already. And I get to come out here and compete, have fun, enjoy it. And then at the end of the day, win or lose, my identity's secure.
Kyle.
How much do you struggle with just the idea of discontentment, of needing, whether it's more wins, more money, more fame to be satisfied? And when do you find yourself most content?
Gosh, that's a good question. I feel like playing professional golf is an endlessly not satisfying career. For instance, in my head, all I can think about right now is getting home. I'm not thinking about the tournament. I'm not thinking about the green jacket. I'm trying to answer your questions. I'm trying to get home. I wish I could soak this in a little bit more. Maybe I will tonight when I get home. But at the end of the day, I think that's what the human heart does. You always want more. And I think you got to fight those things and focus on what's good. Because, like I said, winning this golf tournament does not change my identity. My identity is secure, and I cannot emphasize that enough.
Kevin.
You mentioned your life is going to change coming up. What are you looking forward most to about being a dad?
Well, looking forward to the next couple weeks, hopefully getting a bit of sleep, and then, a couple months of probably not getting any sleep. No, but I mean, I'm excited. I think it's funny when you get married. A lot of people tend to make jokes about like, oh, your life's over, yada yada yada. My friends were always very excited for me to get married, but you get some people offhand just making jokes and stuff like that. When it comes to having a kid, every single person says that it changes your life and it's the most special thing in the world. So I cannot. Marriage has been such a tremendous aspect of my life. I cannot even imagine what being a parent is going to be like.
Brian.
And Scottie, you seem like you're in total control right now of your game, in the zone, whatever it might be. How do you feel out there, and do you feel like you're playing your best golf right now?
I feel like I'm playing really good golf right now. I feel like I'm in control of my emotions as I've ever been, which is a good place to be. I feel like I'm maturing as a person on the golf course, which is a good place to be. I think it's hard to argue with the results of the last few weeks. I've been playing some really nice golf, but I really try not to focus too much on the past. I'm going to go home and reflect on this week and soak it in as best I can. But like I said, it's not a very satisfying sport because I'm supposed to tee it up again on Thursday. So back to the grind pretty quick.
Adam.
Scottie, was there anything Meredith said to you this morning that helped you on your way to victory today?
She just asked how she could pray for me, and I actually wasn't able to talk to her for very long this morning, which was unusual. But, she sent a lot of prayers. My neck was bugging me a little bit, and so, prayed for some healing and, just prayed for me to have a lot of peace out there. I had a good conversation with my buddies that were here this morning about victory and that victory already being secure. So yeah, it was a longer morning again than anticipated this year, but I would say it wasn't as long as it was a couple years ago, but still a long morning.
Is that the only time this week that your neck bothered you this morning?
Yeah, I think when you get stressed out, I think your body just reacts to it, whether or not it's a stomach ache or your body starts aching. I think my body was just reacting to the stress, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
Ryan.
Scottie, can you take us back through the decision that you and Randy made to hire Phil Kenyon and what that meant to you at the time and what it means now?
After Eastlake last year, riding home on the plane and sitting there talking to Blake, and we kind of look at each other, and I think we both were thinking the same thing, and we both kind of looked at each other, and I was like, I think I want to see a putting coach. And Blake goes, I think that's a good idea. Let's talk to Randy. And I'd watched Phil before. I watched him coach players. And I think when you're out here for as long as I have been, I just see stuff. And I loved the way that Phil coached his players. You look at a guy like Fitzy who lines up a lot of his putts and uses a putter that has a lot of swing to it. And then you look at a guy like Keegan Bradley, who Phil also teaches, who doesn't use a line on the ball, uses a big, giant putter with cross-handed, and he putts good. And so as I watched Phil, I could tell that he was open-minded, and that's the type of people I like to work with. And we kind of hit the ground running there in the fall. And I can't speak highly enough of the decision that Randy also made to just be open-minded, not take an ego to it, just sit there, watch us work, watch Phil do his thing. Phil is also a guy that does not have a big ego. He just wants what's best for his players, and I'm really, really fortunate to have those two guys as part of my team. I can't. It's hard to describe what it's like, having somebody. I mean, Randy had taught me for almost 20 years every single aspect of the game, and so for me to have to bring in somebody else could have been a shot to his ego, and he may not have wanted me to do it. But Randy sat there and he said, "You know what? I think this is the right time." And so we called Phil, and about a week later, he came in and had a visit. We worked for a couple days, and yeah, now we're here.
Mike Keegan in the back.
Hi, Scottie. I just wondered, when you talk about your own parents and your upbringing, if there was one thing from that you will definitely use when you become a father, and also how long you think you're going to leave it until you put a plastic club in the baby's hand?
I guess starting with my upbringing, my parents always wanted what's best for me. I swear my dad, I think, would lay in front of traffic if it means that I wouldn't get a scratch on my arm. I mean, he would die for any of his kids. I mean, both my parents would. They're such special people. And so first and foremost, I think how much love they had for us growing up. I mean, that's what I'm looking forward to most. I think about being a parent is being able to love my child like my parents love me. How long will it take me to put a plastic glove in my kids' hands? It's funny. I watch my nephew a lot. My older sister had her first child, and he turns 2 in June. And some people want to be like their parents, and some people don't want to be like their parents. And Hayes is a kid that wants to be just like his dad, and his dad loves grass. And I got a video from my sister the other day of Hayes following his dad around in the backyard. His dad was mowing the lawn, and Hayes was following him with his plastic lawnmower. And Andrew loves to play golf. Hayes loves to play golf. What's my kid going to like? Who the heck knows? Who knows what they'll pick up on? But whatever it is, I just want to be there to support them. It doesn't matter what they're doing.
Jeffrey.
Scottie, when you look across your game and the week as a whole, what do you think you did best?
I would say the 2 aspects of my game that were probably the best were short game and driving, I think. Probably short game being the most. I mean, just looking at a day like today, first 2 holes, or first 3 holes really for that matter. First hole, Teddy and I got the wind completely wrong. I hit a good shot, and we missed our target by like 25 yards. And that's the kind of stuff that happens around here. But I was hit a nice chip up there at about 4 or 5 feet, knocked it in. Number 2, we get the wind wrong again. Didn't hit a great shot, but I didn't hit that bad of a shot. It should have still been on the green. And instead I airmail, and now I'm in a really tough spot and hit another really good pitch to about 4 or 5 feet. And then on number 3, hit a good drive, ends up there in the bunker, and it's not an easy bunker shot. You're going up the slow direction, but the bunker is extremely deep, and hit a great bunker shot in there to about 3 feet, knocked that one in. So I think probably the short game was most important.
Steve.
Congratulations. You are doing some remarkable things right now. I know it's a humbling game, but you haven't had one round over par the entire year. You win your second major here. Can you talk about what's allowing you to play so well? You talk to the other golfers, they say, you're here, and the rest of them start there. Do you sense that you're doing something different and something special right now?
I try not to think about the past or the future too much. I love trying to live in the present. I've had a really good start to the year, and I hope that I can continue on this path that I'm on. I'm going to continue to put in the work that's got me here. That's pretty much it. I'm just going to continue to put in the work, keep my head down. I like when I step up on the tee at a tournament, being able to tell myself that I did everything I could to play well, and the rest isn't up to me. And so when I step on the tee next week, I'm going to be thinking about the preparation, what it took to get there, and I'm going to go out and just try and play as freely as possible.
Are any of these things impressive to you? For example, the no rounds over par this year?
No rounds over par is great. I hate shooting over par. I can't tell you how much I hate shooting over par. So it's nice to have to not experience that yet this year.
Claire.
Hi, Scottie. Have you talked to Meredith yet? And what was her setup for watching today?
I did FaceTime her, although it was very brief. She was at her aunt's house. They just built a new house in Dallas, where she actually stayed most of this weekend. And so they had a nice little group there watching. I saw maybe 7 or 8 people in the background, but honestly, my head's been spinning since I got off the tee. I can't even really tell you who was in the film or in the video other than Meredith.
Just a couple more questions. Let's go to Reeves.
First of all, Scottie, right back here to your left, congratulations. Second of all, when you take a look back at your win here in 2022 and your win here today, what stands out most to you between getting your first green jacket and your second, other than just adding a green jacket to the collection?
Yeah, I think when I look at the tournament from 2 years ago, I built myself a lead on Friday afternoon and was able to, cruise isn't really the right word for how it went over the weekend, but I was able to just play with the lead and play comfortably. Whereas this week, I felt like I was battling the whole week. You go out there on Thursday and it's so windy, and was able to shoot a great score. And then the next 2 days were really just a fight. I was fighting this golf course the last couple of days. I think it was Friday afternoon we went out. I can't even describe to you how difficult the conditions were. I hit driver 3-iron. So 15 was into the wind on Thursday, and I hit driver 3-iron on the green. 15 was into the wind again today, and I hit driver 4-iron onto the green, and I took some off the 4-iron. On Friday afternoon, I hit driver 3-iron. I had 70 yards left to the pin. It was insane how windy it was, and it was just a battle. It was a long week. I had to battle some ups and downs, and I'm very fortunate to be sitting here. But yeah, it was definitely a different type of week.
And last question, Andy.
Scottie, when you got on the back nine, was there any point where you decided, no matter what, I'm not leaving? Even if you got a call?
Oh, I was like, what are you talking about? Of course I'm not leaving. No. You know, I guess that's a testament to how good of a headspace I was in. I wasn't thinking about that much. I was doing my best to stay in the moment, stay calm, execute shots. I was very focused out there today. I feel like I did a really good job. You know, Teddy did a great job of making sure that we kept the golf course in front of us. You know, I didn't get off to the best start, but had some key up and downs. And, you know, Teddy, once again, did a great job of keeping me in it. And, yeah, we had a great week.
Well, Scottie, before we go, could you take us through which clubs you used when you made your birdies and bogeys today, so we have that for the historical record?
Okay. Birdies and bogeys. So number 3, I used a driver and a lob wedge and a putter. And then I bogeyed on 4. I hit a 3-iron over the green, parred 5, parred 6. 7 was unusual because I hit driver, 4-iron, lob wedge, and then missed the putt for par. Number 8 was driver, 3-iron, lob wedge. Number 9 was driver, lob wedge. 10 was driver, pitching wedge. 11 was a bogey. That was driver, 7-iron, lob wedge. 13 was driver, 4-iron. 14 was 3-wood wedge. 16 was an 8-iron. And then those pars.
Great. Okay. Well, Scottie, thank you and congratulations on your incredible second Masters.
Thanks, y'all. Appreciate it. Thank you, guys. See y'all.